Rather lads, welcome back to Cossy Podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to brand new video. In this video, we're going to be talking about EDU, and we are putting EDU in the spotlight. Is he a weak negotiator when it comes to the big deals? He does the very small deals very well. Ben White, Tomiyasu, he does those ones very well, Ramsdale. But when it comes to the big stage, when it comes to rivaling the best clubs in Europe, rivaling the best clubs in the world for the best players, EDU has not signed one single player for Arsenal in the past 3 years. I'm talking Houssem Aouar in 2020. I'm talking Dusan Vlahovic in 2022. I'm talking Mykhailo Mudryk, Lisandro Martinez, Yuri Tielemans, Rafinha. All these deals that Arsenal have been rivaling the best teams in Europe, the best teams in the world. We have not won a single deal. And now Declan Rice is on the verge of snubbing Arsenal to join for rivals, arch rivals, Man United or Manchester City. Is EDU a weak negotiator of big deals? Is he letting us down? Is he letting Mikel Arteta down? Because surely Arteta is not to blame for the lack of signings, for the lack of quality top targets that we are missing out on. The manager is clearly highlighting the targets, and somewhere, somehow, in the negotiations, we are missing out on our priority targets, including players that would have actually elevated Arsenal to a bigger level, like Dusan Vlahovic, and we are signing second options. We are signing plan Bs. We are signing players that the manager does not view as priority, but maybe as secondary target. So in this video, I want your thoughts. I want your opinions. Is EDU a poor negotiator for big deals? And if he's a poor negotiator, if Arsenal want to get back to the levels that we were once at, 2004, 2005, 2003, you need those big negotiations. You know, the good thing I loved with Arsene Wenger and his regime is they never had the money. But look at the signings we were making. Thierry Henry, Cesc Fabregas. I mean, you have to steal him from one of the best academies in the world, but you do it. I mean, doesn't matter. You actually do it. Andre Arshavin, Mesut Ozil. You know, of course, we did miss out on deals, but that was very, very clear. Arsenal did not have the money then, and you know, we wanted either Benzema or Gonzalo Higuain, but we never had the money. The money was not there, and we used to end up, you know, signing Olivier Giroud, you know, Chamak. That shows you that we never had the money. Arsene Wenger never did have, you know, the budget that EDU and Mikel Arteta have at the moment. But what is going on? What is going wrong? Now we have the money. We're hearing Arsenal having over 90 million to spend on Mykhailo Mudryk in January. The deal doesn't happen, and Moises Caicedo doesn't sign either. Are we weak in our negotiations? Are teams bullying us in the transfer market? Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. Let's get this video to 500 likes. It's opinions, and I want Arsenal fans. Of course, if you're not an Arsenal fan, I would really appreciate your opinion here, because I mean, all these other clubs. You look at Chelsea, and the last 5 years, Havertz signs, Lukaku signs, Timo Werner, by that time he was a very, very hot prospect of football Germany, signs, Enzo Fernandez signs, Mykhailo Mudryk signs, Eduardo Mendy signs, Kepa. You know, you look at these other clubs and how they negotiate deals, right? You look at Mane to Liverpool, Salah to Liverpool, Van Dijk to Liverpool, you know, the goalkeeper, I mean, you know, he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. The fact that they signed him, despite the fact it was really expensive, Alisson. So for me, Arsenal missing that ingredient of a tough, serious negotiator. Are we bullied in the transfer market? Right, so let's go back until 2020 in the summer. We had two transfer priorities. One was Thomas Partey, who we signed on deadline day after EDU trying to convince Atletico Madrid to sell to him, and he failed. Arsenal had to trigger the release clause of Thomas Partey. We will continue to count that as a win on the side of EDU, but if it was not a release clause to his rescue, if Arsenal did not have the option of activating the release clause of Thomas Partey, he was never going to sign for Arsenal. And we're talking about a player who had given us his consent right at the beginning of the summer in 2020. He had given us his consent to sign him. He had given us his consent that he would love to play for the side. And Arsenal were really, all we had to do was to convince Atletico Madrid that, look, the player doesn't want to be here anymore, and we can offer him the wages that he wants, and we can offer you the money that you also want. How about we agree a deal? Atletico Madrid was stronger in that regard until we activated a £45.5 million release clause. Our second primary transfer target in 2020 summer was Houssem Aouar. Houssem Aouar this summer has moved to Roma on a free. From Lyon to Roma on a free. In 2020, he was our primary transfer target. And the reason that's why the deal failed, no one knows. People saying that personal terms were a problem. People saying that the agent of the player was a problem. I don't even understand. But what I do understand is that he was a priority that we failed to get. Now, let's move on to one of the most popular ones. Dusan Vlahovic, 2022 January. Arsenal desperately needed a striker. That was the signing that would see Arsenal qualify for the UEFA Champions League in 6 years. It's the signing that made sure that Tottenham Hotspur, progressed, over us, went to the UCL last campaign, and we did not. That was the one signing. That was the one sign that Mikel Arteta had highlighted, right? I think Juve signed him for, was it 70 million? And you know what? That money is going to be paid across like 5 years. But Arsenal somehow failed to get that deal. EDU failed to get the deal done, despite the fact that we had multiple reports reporting that we had a lot of money and a big chunk of cash. If you can't negotiate with Fiorentina and break down the agents of a player like Dusan Vlahovic, there's a big question there. There is a very big question mark on you. January 2023, Arsenal have Mikhailo Modric as their transfer target, primary. Now, don't talk to me about we dodged the bullet. Don't talk to me about he didn't work well at Chelsea. We have signed Kai Havertz, who has not done well at Chelsea, and we know the problems at Chelsea. If you ask me, would I take Mikhailo Modric now? I would. I would still take him at Arsenal because the same reasons that Mikel Arteta wanted him are the same reasons that, he possesses such qualities. So we failed on Mikhailo Modric. Chelsea signed Mikhailo Modric within hours. We had talked about this deal for weeks, potentially months, right? Doing the usual underground work that this guy always does on transfers. Chelsea did this deal in hours. It was a done deal. Mikhailo Modric was a Chelsea player. Arsenal then moved on. Mikel said, why don't you get me Moises Caicedo so that I can strengthen my midfield and probably have a good run at the title? He went in for Moises Caicedo. He failed to sign Moises Caicedo. Moises Caicedo signed a new deal. Despite the fact that the player was putting in a lot of pressure on Brighton, he had gone public. EDU still failed to get that deal done. Let's go back to the summer of 2022. That was last summer, before this one. Arsenal's left-sided option in defense was Lisandro Martinez. He was our priority option. Lisandro Martinez signed for Manchester United and he's been one of the best centre-backs in the world in his first season at Manchester United. He's been absolutely very, very good, right? Manchester United came in later for Lisandro Martinez. Arsenal walked away. They took Lisandro Martinez. We didn't even put in a fight on that one. Arsenal wanted Yuri Tielemans. His contract was left with 1 year to go. Leicester City wanted around 30 million, but of course it was negotiable. We didn't get that deal done. Now Yuri Tielemans is going to be playing for Aston Villa next season. And now Rafinha, as well. Rafinha was Arteta's primary player, right? Yes, he wanted Barca, but Barca did have that period of glitch where you could have snubbed, where you could have, stole the deal away from their hands. Rafinha joined FC Barcelona. Arsenal failed as well. So I'm thinking the current squad we have at the moment is more depends more on Edu's failures rather than his success. Because if he had succeeded on housing Aouar, we would have Odegaard, Aouar, and Partey. If he had succeeded on Caicedo, we would have Caicedo, Aouar, and Odegaard, right? If he had succeeded on Lisandro Martinez, we would have Lisandro Martinez in our backline. If we had succeeded on Rafinha, we would be rotating Saka more and probably wouldn't be, falling off form towards the end of the season. If he had succeeded on Mikhailo Modric, we would have Mikhailo Modric, ex Martinelli on the left-hand side. If he had succeeded on Dusan Vlahovic, we would have one of the best prolific goal scorers on the planet right now. So, is our squad being shaped by success in the transfer market, or is it being shaped by, failures in the transfer market? Because if we had succeeded on all these priority targets, our lineup would actually be very, very different. And now, Mikel has just told him, I want Rice, and somehow he's looking for a way, he's about to find a way actually, of handing Rice to Man United or Manchester City. What's the interesting thing is, Man United's takeover status is still blocking their ability to do transfers, and that's according to David Ornstein. But it's gonna be embarrassing for Man United to take the when you are in a marathon and you've run like 100 kilometers and the person just starts, right? And then he runs those 100 kilometers, catches up with you and goes past you. That is what is likely to happen in this Rice deal. Arsenal started negotiations and doing their groundwork bullshit in January for Declan Rice. 6 months down the road, we don't know what West Ham clearly want, and we are not even sure if Declan Rice is only convinced to join Arsenal, right? So for me, Edu has got to ask himself the question: how is he going to build a team that's going to compete with the best in the world if himself cannot compete with them in the transfer market? I don't remember a summer, maybe 2020, right? Maybe 2020, right? I don't remember a summer where Arsenal have, had a priority target and we didn't have the money. Because, as the Cronkies really started investing in the summer of 2021. I don't remember one summer where we didn't have the money to bring the player to the Emirates Stadium. So something is wrong. And for me, Edu is going to put us in such a very difficult situation that the current squad we have is very good. It's very okay. But we will reach a point in time when we play Manchester City on the UCL final or in the UCL finals, or we play Madrid in the UCL quarterfinals. And that is going to be the difference between a prolific Dusan Vlahovic, and a very, very hardworking Gabriel Jesus. Because with Dusan Vlahovic, you might be sure he will score that goal that breaks Real Madrid out and knocks them out. With Gabriel Jesus, he will put in a very good performance, but you're not sure he will score that goal, right? So for me, Edu has got to check himself. He's showing and portraying a lot of weaknesses in negotiation. He's portraying a lot of weaknesses when it comes to being rivaled by other sporting directors, chief negotiators, and all the people that are doing transfers for other teams. I might not blame him so much for falling short of demands when it comes to Chelsea, because Chelsea under Toddy Bolly, they were splashing money like nothing. But an inexperienced football guy like Todiboli. And look, maximum respect to Todiboli. He's one of the richest guys in the world. He has money that many people don't even dream of making in their life. So money talks. But if you've been in around football for quite some time, I expect you to have at least something thrown in the ear of the player that Todiboli surely cannot. That is my opinion. But I think he has actually, failed, right? He's still failing at proving himself as a guy. Look at Madrid and the deals they've done in the last 5 years. Bellingham of Liverpool and of Manchester City. City are the most attractive club in Europe right now. Madrid have taken Bellingham, all right? And that is what we mean by levels. That is what we mean by, chief negotiation levels, top negotiation levels. You steal a player from the jaws of Liverpool and Manchester City. Look at Aurelien Tchouameni. Still, Liverpool were all over that deal. Aurelien Tchouameni. PSG were all over Aurelien Tchouameni. He ended up at Real Madrid, right? You look at Camavinga still. So for me, we need that element. We need that ruthlessness in the market. I'm not talking about ruthlessness of signing Tomiyasu, Ramsdale, Odegaard. Who else have we signed? Benjamin White. And look, I also think we were bullied into paying a lot for Benjamin White. That is a discussion to be had maybe one day. But if you're doing so well on these easy deals, Odegaard, no one is interested. No, everyone thinks his career is coming to an end. You get that one done. Ramsdale, relegated goalkeeper with 2 Premier League clubs. You get that one done. Benjamin White, one Premier League season at the top level. You get that one done. Tomiyasu, no one wants him. You're the only guy rivaling yourself in the market. You get that one done probably on deadline day. I think that is impressive. But we have now to take the next step. We have to take the next level. And the next level is your rival Real Madrid for Dusan Vlahovic. Your rival Bayern for Julen Timber, right? You rival Manchester City for Declan Rice. You can't keep on failing on our transfer priorities and think we are going to, we are going to go to the next level. I don't think that is the way it works, okay? So for me, I wanted to have a discussion about Edu. Those are my thoughts. Those are my opinions. I want to see where you guys are when it comes to Edu. Is he letting us down? Are we letting him down in negotiations that we don't have the money as compared to these counterparts? That is also a very, very big, factor, by the way. But I think among all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 targets, if you had secured 3, maybe Rafinha, Tielemans, and Modric, or Caicedo, Rafinha, and Houssem Aouar, because the element that we don't have money doesn't work on the Houssem Aouar deal. It does not work on the Vlahovic deal. It does not work on the Moises Caicedo deal. It does not. So Edu, for me, he's got to check himself. I'll be live very, very soon as we break down the transfers of the day.